Hi, I'm Chalem Anderson. I'm here at Reboli Center where I have a show of both my realistic landscapes and my abstract paintings, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how they relate to each other. So this is a painting of one of my favorite places that I found on the East End, where I completely fell in love with it, called Town Point Road. It's in Southampton. I've painted here many times. You have your horizon line, but I was sort of playing with it. You see that it's a little bit darker than you might expect, because always when you're out there with the sky and the water, but I love observing the changes in light that will happen because of the time of day or a cloud passing. Here, you're just surrounded with all this blue and bright green. I like to think that really all paintings, both my realistic or representational paintings and abstracts, are abstract. But here I got into seriously emphasizing the fact that this is a 2D canvas. The illusion of space is not here in the same way that my realistic paintings are. It's still talking about the sea. I've used my drawing skills here to break up the canvas into an arrangement. I love this delicate balance that is happening here. Each edge is very considered. I have an intuitive sense about how I want to break up the space. In my abstract paintings also, I'm really looking for this sense of space and for a kind of Zen-like meditative feeling. This painting, I feel that I've achieved this kind of blue that I've noticed from living by the beach. You get this very brilliant color at twilight that has to do with the full moon. I'm sure of it, although I haven't proven it yet. I've contained it within the square. I still have this Japanese influence and this arc that divides the square. I feel like this is a way of suspending this color and holding on to it. And it does reflect my observation of nature because I've been living right across the street from the beach. So this painting was done Town Point Road also, but this is view from the bridge. I don't know if you can tell, but it is a little elevated so that your view is looking slightly down. And you can tell that because on the bottom there's really no place to stand. You would be in the water. And I think this is the beginning of me starting to think about where I'm not standing grounded anymore. I'm already floating up in the sky and I'm closer to the clouds. Again, it really emphasizes these gorgeous colors that I love to work with, that I achieve by layering the color. You'll see here some violet, which I feel just activates the surface. Also, I would mention about working on a square. How things are weighted is really specific. There's not that much room to play with it in the way that a horizontal there is. So this is another one of my ocean wave paintings. And this is a day I actually remember. It was done in spring when something very striking happened, which was really this aqua stripe came across the sky. You also have this lavender horizon edge here with the foam exploding, and I knew I had to paint it because one of the things about living by the beach is you see these phenomenal things, and being able to paint it and capture it, reliving my personal experience of it and able to express it, somehow I really believe that it comes out in the paint. This room is the fireplace room, which is so cool. And so many people typically put a painting over their mantle, which I much prefer to a TV. I really hate to see a TV. It's such a waste of space where you can have a painting. But here we have this painting. I love a flower field and will always stop to take some pictures of a flower field if I happen to pass it. This one is called Lavender by the Bay. It is a real place. It's in East Marion where they grow lavender. For me, this painting is, you can see, the horizon line is really tilted up, and what you're seeing is kind of a bird's eye view, as if you're flying over the field and up back into the back of the field. It is still by the sea, but of course you don't see the sea in this particular picture. So another one of my ocean paintings, a burst of that explosive energy, which I am expressing in paint. And here you'll see very kind of opaque paint, But if you come close in, you'll see it's certainly not just white. There's a lot of color in there. Sometimes I think of these waves that are coming front and center that I'm painting. You can analyze what's going on in your life, but ultimately you really have to face it. And I think the paintings help me to deal with anything that has come up in my life. So here is another one of my abstract paintings. And again, it's about the moon. I've really noticed what goes on with the moon, which is something, I'm from New York City, that's not necessarily something that you pay attention to, something that you really notice out at the beach. It is a gray that's made of many layers of the oil paint on the surface. There's a lot of blues in here. This is what I really love about working on the abstract work, is that you state and restate and keep changing the painting until you get something that's pleasing. It's not just these rounded shapes, but they're also just almost cloud-like, and yet they're geometric. I hope you enjoyed this little trip around the fireplace room to see my work and get to know the kinds of things that I'm thinking about when I'm working abstractly or I'm working representationally. This show will be up at the Reboli Center until September 26th. If you want to get in touch with me, it's Casey Chalem Anderson is my handle on Instagram. My website is caseyart.com. I hope you get to see the show because it's actually very cool. Reboli Center is something really special.